layer. And then I like to wear a water resistant North Face pants that I actually wear whether it's winter or summer. The material it's made out of is basically the same material they make bathing suits out of. So clearly, it's water resistant, not waterproof. But the snow kind of bounces off it. It's not really a big deal. If you fall in the snow, you just kind of brush it off and you're not wet. It's fine. No big deal. Similar to what a bathing suit is. But speaking of a bathing suit, if you are a big sweater, and I got this from my buddy Eli, he just wears the base layer, the gaiters, and a bathing suit, literally a bathing suit. And if you are a big sweater on the trail and it's not going to be a nasty day out there, if you're hiking on a nice day, obviously gaiters are likely going to be all you need depending where you're going. If you're on a trail, it's already broken out and whatnot. But those details aside, it's not a bad situation and a bad setup to keep you from sweating is the base layer, gaiters to keep you dry, and then bathing suit. I highly recommend, or basketball shorts that repel water pretty nicely. I found that to be very nice for us heavyweight hikers out there who sweat like crazy.
I couldn't agree more. And there's actually, if I'm going to go out and do like a mid to late fall hike before the snow has really come in, say I want to go up and tag Cascade really quick or do a quick trip up to Wright and back or something like that. You'll definitely catch me on the trail wearing compression leggings with a pair of trail runners over them, the trail running shorts just to kind of repel the water. I've got pockets to stick my hands into. I'm not that guy who's out on the trail with nothing but leggings because, let's be honest, no one likes to see that guy.
No one likes that guy. No one likes him.
And it's a very functional thing to do. You breathe well. It manages your body temperature. It's a good way to roll. For the wintertime, you mentioned wearing, you said your pants are kind of a bathing suit material. So I'm assuming you're talking about kind of like a soft shell, right? Not like a summer weight.
I wear these pants I have pants that I wear in either the winter or the summer. They are a soft shell. But they breathe nicely. They're comfortable. They have a little give. Their North Face makes them. I wish I had the model in front of me, but I don't. But I just find that they're, as far as winter goes, once you have the base layer on, they're just the right amount of keep you dry enough and not feel. I can't stand the idea and the feeling of like some people wear straight up snow pants or some similar to snow pants out there, and the idea of hiking going 15 miles in like those types of pants, it's not for me. I'd rather go gaiters with those pants to stay pretty dry and a base layer underneath, as opposed to like those hardcore waterproof pants, even with butt sliding all day because it's fun and it's just part of what winter hiking is. I still will go with the lighter pants.
Yeah, absolutely. So I use a pair of it's an older pair of EMS. I believe they're called Endos. They don't make them anymore, and I really wish they did because mine are starting to get a little bit haggard. But it's kind of like a soft shell material. It's not very warm or insulated by itself at all. But when you pair it up with a good base layer, I think they're awesome. And I'm also I don't really care for wearing like knee-high gaiters. I know that there's a lot of reasons where people should wear them in the wintertime. I often hike with a knee brace, and they kind of interfere with that a little bit.
Sure.
They sort of give me raw spots. So I usually wear my soft shell pants. They have built-in scuff guards on them, so I don't really need to wear the gaiters as well. But I use a pair of low gaiters just to kind of keep myself from tearing up my pants with either my micro spikes or my trail crampons.
Sure.
And then they're pretty great. So they've got a reinforced crotch. They have belt loops, so I can actually wear a belt with them, zippered pockets, the whole 9 yards. It's a personal preference thing, but I like to be able to, stop and.
Yeah. And again, it's just like anything with gear, everything works, but it's just kind of comes down to knowing the pros and cons of everything. For me, and it sounds like for you, non-waterproof stuff, which breathes better, is just we're choosing to not sweat as much. And that's what waterproof stuff, at least for me, it makes me sweat like crazy.
Absolutely. Especially in the summertime. Warmer
time.
Weather, I don't even like to wear pants anymore when I hike in the warmer weather.
Amen.
I prefer just to wear like a either basketball shorts are fine. I've gotten to the point where I've collected a few pairs of different trail runner shorts, which are great because they have designated cell phone pockets. They usually have a compression liner underneath, so you can go commando, but you're still supported. Um, Honestly, they've been a huge step in the right
Sure.
direction.
And I mean, I have pants that unzip into shorts because it's fashionable and
Of
functional,
course.
super fashionable and partly functional. Yeah, I like having that option. Except when you're home and then you unzip them and you can't find them. You can't find where the pants went and they're like in your drawer somewhere and they're there and it's kind of gonna be a cold morning. You want to wear them, but you're just like, I don't know where they are. I'll just wear them as shorts. Or then you find one in your backpack and then one gets gone. That's happened to me twice now, actually. All right, so shirts now, summertime and wintertime shirts. So obviously moisture wicking shirts. I in the winter I like to go with a base layer, and then I like to go with a base layer material long sleeve shirt, and then on top of that I wear a moisture wicking EMS shirt, and that's what I hike in. I never start a hike with any sort of jacket on. I'm always in a base layer and a moisture wicking shirt, and this is just in the winter. In the summer I just wear the moisture wicking t-shirt, that's it. And then I always change a shirt winter or summer at some point during the day, because I'm going to sweat. It doesn't make a difference. My back is going to be sweating with the backpack on, and once you change that shirt it drastically makes life better, around halfway into the day. Or I tend to change the shirt on the top of the last summit of the day, right before the long hike out. It's just like a nice pick me up at the end. I also change my socks usually at that point, which is also an incredible pick me up at the end of the day before the long walk back to the lodge or to your car or wherever you're going.
I do the exact same thing, especially with the shirts. Absolutely. Someone once told me, "Be bold, start cold."
Oh, I
Um,
like that. Yeah, I like
I,
that.
I stick to that. You might be a little bit uncomfortable getting out of your car, but you warm up on the way from the car to the sign-in kiosk, and by the time you're 50 yards or so down the trail, you should be starting to kind of shake the dust off a little bit and kind of warming up.
Oh, you'll
Um,
definitely be cold going to going to sign in. You'll be like, "All right, guys, let's go. We got to get going. We got to get moving. I'm cold." Just
yep.
ask Jonathan and Kira how many times they've looked at me like, you're not starting with a coat on, and I say to them, "You guys are starting with a coat on," and they're like, "Yeah." And then sure enough, 2 minutes down down the trail, right as we get to the wooden bridge at the lodge, they're all right. We got to take my coat off. I said, "You guys should have started without the coat. Come on, start cold like I do." I like that though, starting cold. What was that? Say that phrase again. Be bold,
Be
start cold.
bold. Yep. Be bold, start
I
cold.
like that. I'm gonna put that on a
Yep.
t-shirt.
Yeah,
All right,
I
so
think we sell those.
going with mid layers now, as we cruise through here. Mid layers for winter hiking. There's fleece, there's down, there's synthetic. There's probably 18 mixtures of all of those. I have a down coat. However, fleece breathes better, and I should have fleece, and I'd prefer to have some fleece. I just don't. But those, tell me what other options exist out there.
There's a lot of options out there now. Personally, and I'm sure someone from the 80K winter school is like face palming right now when I say this, but I'm a vest guy. I don't actually
Mm.
pack a jacket as a mid layer. I'll usually pack a vest. I've got a couple different ones. I've got a Marmot 650 Goose Down vest, which is very, very, very warm. It's about the bulkiest possible object I can fit underneath any of my Gore-Tex shells. I've got another Marmot, sort of a lightweight synthetic down vest that I use a lot. And then I've got a couple of kind of like a Berber fleece. I know Patagonia makes a really nice one. It's very warm. Sometimes it's actually overkill. It gets almost as warm as the Goose Down one does. And there's other companies out there that make different types of fleece vests and jacket. I'm a vest guy all the way.
Hmm.
I like to have the mobility of my arms. I don't like to feel like my arms are restricted. I like to be able to keep my core warm, but still be able to regulate that temperature and let air out very quickly if I need to. So generally what I'll do is I stick to the base layer t-shirt, long sleeve t-shirt combination. If I'm going to be approaching a summit, I know it's going to be cold and exposed when I get up there. Somewhere right before I break out of the tree line, that's when I'll stop and kind of do like like a personal assessment. All right,
Yeah, and you'll
what do I need to go up
layer
here?
up if you need to, of course. Sure.
Right. I throw my mid layer on, throw my Gore-Tex shell on. And a lot of times too, what I'll do is I'll hike in a hat, but hats are the things that I change the most frequently in the wintertime because I've almost always got one on because I find that without having one, my head will get cold, my ears will get cold after a while. But what I like to do is kind of like slowly kind of roll it up as I go as my head gets warmer. And then when
Hmm.
it gets to the point where the hat is just wet and it's not helping me anymore, I'll change it out. So if I go out on the winter hike, I've usually got 3 or 4, sometimes 4 or 5 hats with me so I can change them periodically.
Sure. Interesting. I am completely the opposite. Completely the opposite. I rarely have a hat on. Always have a hat on in the summer, seemingly, but rarely have a hat on in the winter. Um, I always start without it, and I also usually start without gloves on too, and
Same,
that
yes.
helps me to just kind of be a little chilly, be bold, start cold. So that's what I do, and the hat tends to be, or if it is one of those days where it actually is really cold, the gloves will go on first the liner gloves. And if that's not enough and my fingers are frozen, specifically my thumbs and middle fingers, which are what freeze first, then I'll put my gloves on and then the hat. And then I'll put a mid layer on. But typically I'm rare. Occasionally I'll hike down with a mid layer on, but barely ever am I going up. Unless we're above tree line and it's windy, then that's definitely a different animal and a different ball game at that point. But I rarely ever have a hat on. For me, I find it's the easiest way to just instantly cool down. Another good way if you are over layered up, just unzip your stuff, unzip everything, and it's a quick cool down without having to stop and take everything off. You know what I feel like? What I want and what I need to do, and I keep saying this, but I just haven't yet. I need to go to EMS at the end of the year and when everything is just fire sailing all the winter stuff. I need to buy a fleece for 80% off and just cut the back off of it. Just straight up scissors, cut it off because then I could actually start a hike slightly warmer. When because that feeling in the winter when you're starting cold. We're being bold and we're starting cold. God, I love that phrase. But like that, just your chest is cold, your arms are cold, and you got to get moving. But it would be kind of nice to start warm, but still, it'd be like a step between wearing a mid layer and nothing. You could start a little warmer, but then your back's not sweating because there's nothing on your back but the moisture wicking t-shirt. I should just cut
You
it,
know,
or a company should make something that doesn't have the back. But then I feel like why not? I could just cut it off and not spend the amount of money that these companies will charge.
so you're talking about basically turning your fleece jacket into a hospital gown.
A hospital gown? Did you say? Yeah, that.
Yeah.
I'm not basically talking about that. I am talking about that.
That's amazing. I like it, and I want to see it if you end up doing that. Please.
Yes, I mean it's. I mean, or I just need to start hiking in a poncho. Like just draped over, not like a rain poncho, but like like a cloth poncho, just like hunched, hike, or just set over me, so it's like kind of covering my arms and shoulders a little bit, and a little bit of my backpack, but not my actual back. Then I'll just it'd be nice to be a little bit warmer than when I'm always like just so cold when I start. But of course, like you said, 5-10 minutes down the line, we're good. I'm comfortable, except my hands are usually still frozen. But other than that, I'm good. I have I have a down coat from EMS brand, and this leads me to our next layer, the puffy coat, the puffy down coat. Now, when I was researching and just browsing online for this episode, the amount of options for puffies is out of control. And we were talking about this before we started. There are just so many different different versions and different levels of down and different materials in the down and synthetic this and like half duck that. Take me through the amount of different options that come with a puffy coat, because I have a puffy coat, which is just like it's a down coat. I just got it. I throw it on. I didn't really think anything of it, but there are just so many levels to these coats and
Oh,
options out there.
absolutely.
So take me through a little bit of the options that exist.
All right, so you can go with your traditional down. You can do a synthetic sort of like I'm trying to think of the name of it, like a hollow fill material. There's companies that are doing synthetic down where they're actually using like a quasi synthetic down feather now. You can get waterproof down, which I actually haven't been able to test any of those yet. But the whole idea is that all the feather stuffing that's going inside whatever the piece of material is, whether it's a sleeping bag or a